This is the first video in the Equity and Distribution of Income mini-series, which is part of the Government Macroeconomic Objectives series. In this video, I'm going to discuss the meaning of equity and distribution of income and how it is measured. So let's begin. The first learning outcome is to be able to distinguish between equity and equality. They both mean very different things. Equity refers to having more fairness in the distribution of income. So it is making the distribution of income and wealth slightly more fair. It does not mean equality. Equality has a different meaning. Equality means having a situation where everyone receives the same income. This is not necessarily the government macroeconomic objective. This may destroy incentives because if everyone is receiving the same income, no one has an incentive to work hard, and this may harm efficiency. So the goal is greater equity in the distribution of income, not equality. So having a more fair distribution of income. Now, unfortunately, the market system in general may not result in an equitable distribution of income. Why? Because in the market system, there is private ownership of the factors of production. Now, not all of the factors of production are owned equally, and due to the unequal ownership of the factors of production, individuals have different sources or types of income. So if you own more factors of production, say for example you own land and you own a business and you have wealth that was passed on from your parents or your grandparents, your chances at making more income are higher. So due to the unequal ownership of the factors of production, this results in an unequitable distribution of income. So how do we measure the distribution of income? Essentially, what we look at is we plot the data showing the cumulative percentage of total income on the y-axis and the cumulative percentage of the total population on the x-axis. We divide the population into something called deciles or quintiles. Okay? So deciles is when you divide the population into 10 equal parts. Okay, so in 10 percentage blocks, or quintiles into 20 percentage blocks, 5 equal parts. All right, now this will help us plot something called the Lorenz curve. To understand the Lorenz curve, let's just first talk about the line of absolute equality. So the line of absolute equality, again, this is not the goal of the government, but this helps us measure how far we are from absolute equality. To have absolute equality, 20% of the population should be earning 20% of the income. 40% of the population should be earning 40%, and so on. 80% should be earning 80%, and so on. Okay, this is the line of absolute equality. What you do is then you see, all right, so 20% of the population, how much income are they earning? Say, for example, they're earning this much in one country, country B. And say, for example, they're earning this much in country A. 40%, you can see this much in country B, this much in country A, and so on. This will help you plot something called the Lorenz curve. Now, the further away you are, a country is from, the further away a country is from, a country's Lorenz curve is from the line of absolute equality, the more unequal the distribution of income. So you can see here, country A has a more unequal distribution of income when compared to country B. Why? Because its Lorenz curve is further away from the line of absolute equality. And this is how we measure inequality or inequity in the distribution of income. Another measure that we can derive from the Lorenz curve is something called the Gini coefficient or the Gini index. It is derived from the Lorenz curve. Okay? For country B, for example, which is the green Lorenz curve here, the Gini coefficient would be the area E, okay, the area E, which is shaded in yellow here, divided by the total area under the line of absolute equality, which is E plus F plus G. This would be country B's Gini coefficient. For country A, on the other hand, it would be the area E and F together, okay, which is the total area between the country A's Lorenz curve and the line of absolute equality, divided by E plus F plus G. And the Gini coefficient, essentially, it is the area between the country's Lorentz curve and the line of absolute equality divided by the total area under the line of absolute equality. The Gini coefficient will always have a value between 0 and 1. 0 shows absolute equality. 1 shows absolute inequality. So the closer you are to 0, the more equal the distribution of income. The closer you are to 1, the less equal the distribution of income. The higher the Gini index, the more unequal the distribution of income. This is how we measure equity in the distribution of income. We use the Lorentz curve and the Gini coefficient, or the Gini index. And I've also explained in this video the meaning of equity and how it differs from equality. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.